Back to Forever United TV. Adam here, your Saturday morning updates on all Manchester United news on and off the pitch. This morning we're talking Kobbie Mainoo, the social media post. Are you really bothered? Should we really be looking at what impact the social media posts have with the other mainstream media? That's what I want to talk about this morning on that one. So get your comments in on that when we get around to it. But we are starting today with Marcus Rashford and a bit of a concerning look from the Spanish media regarding his time at Barcelona already. And a worrying sign that this could get cut short, according to some sources as well, in terms of Marcus Rashford's time at Barcelona. All of that information to come, all of that detail. Going to touch on the internationals as well. An extra game this week against Aston Villa for Manchester United to bed in Senna Lamens. Is this in preparation for the derby, or is it going to be like most sources say, Altay Bayinde in goal for Manchester United ahead of two players that are featuring right now? Kind of a weird situation with the goalkeepers, isn't it? But yeah, word on the goalkeeping front again as we move forward. Now just a week away from the Manchester derby. We'll get into all of that, how the internationals are going. Get your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get on with the morning show, everybody. Happy Saturday morning, happy weekend. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Don't forget, later on tonight on Football Talks, our sister channel, we're going to be talking about, well, we're not going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about how England beat Andorra, but we're also going to be doing the watch along alongside it as well. So make sure you tuned in later on to FUTV. We're going to go from that show straight into the watch along later. 5:30 kickoff, don't forget, for England against Andorra. Extra coverage of all internationals and Premier League games on Football Talk starting pretty much today, everybody. So get involved with that later on. And of course, competition winners are coming later on as well, everybody, from OK Jerseys. More on how to enter the competition in the FUTV live show later this afternoon. So if you want to get your hands on one of the retro replicas or up-to-date replicas, Manchester United or any team around the globe, then tune in later this afternoon to FUTV and you'll know how to enter that competition, everybody. Right, let's get on with everything that's happening then. We're going to start with Marcus Rashford this morning. Worrying stories coming out from the Spanish media about his time at Barcelona. You may have read quite a few stories so far. Not impressed, not played 90 minutes yet, wasn't fantastic in pre-season. Hansi Flick locking the Barcelona players in the dressing room the other day. It's not as serious as it sounds, but reading them the riot act. But the worrying concerns coming out from the Spanish media around Marcus Rashford are where we're going with what we're going with today. Hansi Flick not convinced by Marcus Rashford. Apparently we're on strike one already with him and his, I don't know if it's going to be so much his work rate or his attitude. We all know the issues with Marcus Rashford. We've seen it before at Manchester United. We're all very concerned about a player going into a demanding environment like Barcelona where they don't get away with anything. And that, for me, is and was always going to be tough for Marcus Rashford. But the reports coming out are that Hansi Flick has not been impressed with Marcus Rashford's application. I think that's been clear for everybody to see with the fact that he's not been starting games. He's been pulled off in games. He's still not registered anything significant yet in terms of goals or assists as such anyway. He's not impressed the local fans. There's lots of talk on fan groups around Marcus Rashford not impressing at all. And there is apparently a get out. Now, I didn't know about this, but again, there is a way to cut this loan deal short for Marcus Rashford, being reported by Spanish media today. For as much as €5 million, they can cut the loan deal short, and I think that would come obviously in January. I don't think you can do it out of window, basically. I think obviously European transfer window, summer and January, as we know. I think they would have to do it in January. I've not read too much more detail into it, just that he's not impressing. There is a problem there, obviously. There's a problem with a few of the Barcelona players by the sounds of it. So not wanting to really just pinpoint Rashford here and have a go, but obviously he's a United player still. And he is costing Manchester United a lot of money. Still, even though Barcelona are covering these wages right now, if they cut that short, that could hamper Manchester United's plans in January if Barcelona send him back. How true this story is, it is Spanish media. I will always say that, and obviously take it with a pinch of salt. But if the Spanish media are reporting this, that there is a get out on this, even if they're reporting that Hansi Flick is not impressed with Marcus Rashford, it should be a concern for all Manchester United fans, because it means he comes back again. If things don't go right for Ruben Amorim this season and he isn't at the helm come the end of it, Rashford walks straight back into another manager who may want to give him another chance, and then we start all over again, and all the good work that has happened this summer gets thrown out of the window, particularly in Marcus Rashford's case anyway. And again, like, it is and was always a concern. Like I said at the time, it was an impressive deal. Getting him gone on loan, dealing with a bad situation and getting his whole wages covered. That was big for Manchester. It saved us around 14 million in wages, which is massive. I don't know of the clause, or if there is one, where they can pay a penalty and send him back to Manchester United. I don't know if that's even in there. I don't know if that will cover the majority of Marcus Rashford's wages and what's left to pay with only 4 months leading up to January. And surely you would have to see out the rest of the contract, rest out of the season to cover that year's contracts of salary and things like that. So United are going to come up short again because we know Ruben will not play him. We don't want him back at Manchester United. And again, it's just another problem for United, and it just highlights the issues going around with Manchester United's younger players right now. And I don't want to keep pointing out the academy side of things, because the academy is great and what he's doing right now is fantastic. But yet again, I said last night, did you see the pictures of Garnacho training at Chelsea and him moaning about how knackered he was and how tired he was? This goes to show that they're not putting in the maximum that they can put in. And I think Rashford's been hit by a big reality wall, really. When he's walked in at Barcelona, they demand an awful lot more of their players, and he isn't up for it. He isn't up to standards by the sounds of it. And the fact that he isn't playing games regular tells you that anyway. So we can look at the reports and laugh them off, say we're making a big deal out of nothing, whatever you want to do. But we know Marcus Rashford's attitude has been called into question constantly. He's gone to a club where the demands are high. And let's not forget, he was third choice for Barcelona, behind both Luis Diaz and Nico Williams. So let's not kid ourselves that Barcelona were pulling up trees to try and bring Marcus Rashford in. He wasn't their top pick, and he's only gone there because the other 2 deals failed. That's it, and we know this. So when it comes to their look on Rashford, they're probably looking at him and going, you're going to have to impress us. We're not going to go out of our way to just get you in and make you this big star at Barcelona. You're going to have to earn your way to the top and earn your place in this side, and indeed earn that permanent transfer for your so-called dream move. So, again, worrying, because I don't want him back. I don't want Ruben to be dealing with another problem. And it's just like the Sancho one. We just cannot move them on. They don't want to let go. And every other club that these players have gone to have picked up on similar issues. Why did Aston Villa not go out and buy Marcus Rashford? They didn't want to spend 40 million quid on him. This player was apparently worth 70 to 100 million 3 seasons ago. And now look at him. No one wants to pay 40 million. Barcelona are thinking about sending him back from a loan where they only have to play 25, 26 million for him for a permanent deal. Nobody wants to commit to him. Look, he can change this around and he can turn it around, and I hope he does. And I hope he actually does get that permanent move. I really do. And look, I don't want to have a go at Marcus Rashford because of my old issues with him. Everybody knows what I think about Marcus Rashford. But I just wanted him to succeed so he could just go and make something of his career elsewhere, because he's not wanted at Manchester United. It's as simple as that. He doesn't belong at Manchester United. He's come out talking to Gary Lineker about the standards of Manchester United, how things are, what's changed, why no one's going to be a success at Manchester United. Blaming absolutely everybody but himself. Zero accountability from the player. Absolutely nothing at all wrong with what he's doing in his eyes and his people's eyes. That's the issue with his attitude. We just don't want that type of player back again. And he's already doing these interviews, like I said there, with Gary Lineker, talking about issues at the club. He's not even got yourself settled into Barcelona's side yet, mate. And you're already thinking that you're a big part of the furniture there, doing these interviews with Spanish YouTubers and talking up things that you want to actually happen and going forward in your career. Like, it's going to be a guarantee. I just don't get him at all. And that's the problem I've got with Marcus Rashford. I just think he feels he's better than what he actually is. And Barcelona is going to really put him firmly in his place. He's not going to play. And again, I don't get why Thomas Tuchel has got him in the England side. I really don't. Look, play well, do well for England, Marcus. Do everything you possibly can. But the problem we've got is the Manchester United problem. Again, it's another issue that's going to stop Man United getting anywhere where we need to next summer. And that's what I'm looking at right now. It's like Kaz just said to me with a great comment there. Anthony plays better in Spain than what Marcus Rashford does. Yeah, he does. He does. I think Anthony would perform better at Barcelona than what Marcus Rashford does. But that was worrying. The report actually says there is a €5 million penalty for Barcelona to pay if they want to cut this loan deal short, which is a worry for me. I just hope that he starts playing well again. But them worries, and do you know what? This only comes out on international duty. We say this every single season, don't we? Whenever the internationals come around, interviews happen, managers talk, managers are on breaks, there's not as much training going on, everyone's on a bit of a break, and it's a little bit of a settling down period in between the madness of coming back from the transfer window and the season starting. And everybody starts opening up and talking. You always get these interviews. And here we go straight away. We're hearing from the likes of Hansi Flick. We're hearing national papers in their respective countries doing interviews and trying to dig out some dirt because there's nothing else to talk about. And then you find out things like this. What's going on at Barcelona and Marcus Rashford not getting a great start. It's worrying. It really is worrying that they could be even thinking of sending Marcus Rashford back. I just don't want to have to deal with the same problems over again. And it is going to get in the way for Manchester United. Things like this is what we're trying to rid ourselves of. And this is what I was talking about this week, actually. When this next season is over and you're getting rid of quite a few players, like the old guard are well and truly gone because players' contracts are running out anyway. Like Malacia out of contract. Obviously, Jadon Sancho's out of contract. So no matter what, he's gone. Maguire's gone, Casemiro's gone. You think Bruno could possibly leave as well. There is a lot moving on. Marcus Rashford needs to be part of that. We cannot have that man coming back to Manchester United. And hopefully Ineos, the structure and the management team there at Manchester United, even if Ruben is gone, touch wood, he's not, they still deal with the Marcus Rashford problem because that, I think, has been clear. And already with what he's done since he's been at Barcelona, he's shown his true colours about going in on Manchester United and what's actually happening. The fact that he did dig out, in a way, inadvertently dig out Ineos in chopping and changing managers because he knows he would have played every single week if Ten Hag was still the manager at Manchester United. And lo and behold, in an interview with Gary Lineker, he comes out about changing the managers constantly all of the time. It's a process. I remember a certain other manager talking about processes quite a lot. And for Marcus Rashford to bring that up in an interview as well, kind of sort of, it combines it, doesn't it? And then makes you wonder, what's he having a go at here? So hopefully that's clear to Ineos and they know what Marcus Rashford is and the problem that he's going to bring if he comes back to Manchester United. And if he does come back from that loan and Barcelona don't trigger that buyout, then well and truly Manchester United need to be moving mountains to try and get that man out of this football club again. That's my opinion on that. It's going to get into the comment section on this now. First of all, thank you, DOP3 with the 5 gifted memberships to start us off today. Thank you, mate. If you have been gifted one of them memberships in the live chats, please do make sure that you put a big thank you in there for DOP3 as well, please. And let's get into some of these comments on this. Pile in, everybody. Give me your thoughts, please. You don't have to agree with me. You may think that I'm just being over the top on Marcus Rashford. I just look, proof is there. Look, it's another manager now that's not playing Marcus Rashford consistently, and we're obviously getting word and issues behind the scenes again. Like, no smoke without fire is what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want at Barcelona in your personal life. They don't give a toss, but you are expected to perform on that pitch. No exceptions, says Ant. Daniel says Flick is anti-ego. I've read he's trying to deal with the individualism. The story on Rashford, I wouldn't take too seriously considering the poor tabloid-style journalism there. No, it's again, like I said, take it with a pinch of salt and whatever you want, but this isn't the first time already that word has come out. And you only have to look at him being third choice. You only have to look at him not playing games with Hansi Flick to know that there is something that he's not convinced about there with Marcus Rashford. The fact that they didn't want to pay a fee for him, and that, I think, is what I would look at more. Marcus Rashford and the concern of him coming back. He needs to start performing better. He needs to start playing more games. Hansi Flick is that type of manager. He's a hard hand, and he's done this with every single Barcelona player. Not just Marcus Rashford, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he does it with every player, and you can think that we're making a story here just because it's Marcus Rashford again. He has to fall in line because he's still a Manchester United player. And if Barcelona think at the end of this season he's not worth it, he's coming back And then our media and Manchester United are dealing with the same Marcus Rashford problem again, with Ruben Amorim having to go backwards again instead of moving forwards with players that we really should be bringing into this football club. Because Marcus Rashford will dig his heels in yet again when he comes back to Manchester United. His agent will have no real ability or want to do Man United any favours whatsoever, and they will make it hard work again. And it'll be another summer transfer window of wondering if and when we're going to get rid of certain cabbage players, with the World Cup involved as well. So it's going to be a slow transfer window next summer. Nightmare. That's what we're looking at there with Marcus Rashford. So again, hey, you can look at it a few different ways. You could say that it's been built up and the Spanish media are not trustworthy. They're not. They're 100% not. But Hansi Flick, we know about. Barcelona, we know about. We know the standards that he keeps, and we know that Marcus Rashford isn't playing 90 minutes yet in this side. It's a worry. And if they have got an option to send him back, maybe they're thinking, we don't want to be paying 14 million quid when we're in a financial crisis at Barcelona. We're going to pay the 5 million and send him back. They're the facts and they're the problems that Manchester United face. And it's all because of this man's attitude. Yeah, anyway, let's get some more on this. In my experience, if you spend more than an hour drinking in Barcelona, you end up in the crack den meth session, depending on your... my God, what are you on about there, Lawrence, mate? Some experience there, mate. Just terminates his contract, pay him off, take the L, or it never stops the circus. A lot of youngsters these days are all the same with their attitude. They just want to be a TikTok star. Peter says, that was from Ant and John, the previous messages. Peter says, Adam, United was run like a summer camp, while the likes of Barcelona are more ran like army camps. Life at United was easy, and players never had to go up in gears. That's what's wrong. You can see Manchester United. I think it's a lot harder now at United. The standards have gone up, and there's a bigger expectation for Manchester United. But we've fallen so far in terms of that. It's taken a while to actually get back level with other football clubs and raise the levels again and raise the standard levels at United. And some players, I think, are still going to fall by the wayside. It's like the likes of Malacia. Obviously, again, like, why is nobody coming in and taking him? United created their own mess with how they operated. And look, for that to be built and that culture to be built, it takes a while and it takes a lot of work to dig into that and actually break it up and stop it happening and then create a new environment and culture around it. They are trying, and you can see it is working. Everything is going in the right direction for Manchester United. We just don't like the thought of having to deal with these obstacles again. I think the most tiring thing out of the Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho sort of thing is, like, we're sick to death of dealing with these prima donna players that think they should be given more. And their entitlement, well, at Manchester United, should be at this level. It's just annoying that we have to keep going back to it. And anytime there's a story like this, it just creeps in there and goes, knock, knock, don't forget about me. It's like, well, everything is good and moving in the right direction. You still got that little anchor there, aren't you, just holding you back and stopping you moving as fast as what you should be doing. And that's what these players are. And it is annoying. Now, the Kobbie Mainoo situation, I don't want to make too much of a deal out of this, but the problem I've got with it is the situation that it's creating within the media itself. Now, when you're looking at the actual part, and what I'm talking about here is, so first of all, Kobbie Mainoo yesterday, and this is the difference, I think, in Kobbie Mainoo to Garnacho and to Marcus Rashford. I'm sorry. But Kobbie Mainoo, I think, is putting the work in. I think Kobbie Mainoo is actually looking at the situation, and I feel is, personally, I think he's actually putting in the extra yards, making it harder for Ruben Amorim to actually drop him. That's what I feel anyway. And when you look at everything that's going on around Manchester United right now, social media wise, the other players that are actually, let's just say, like the Rashfords, the Garnachos, that little video of Garnacho struggling in Chelsea training and things like this. This is where you start to look at Kobbie Mainoo's situation and go and feel a little bit more, I think, a little bit more confident about it, because I don't think Kobbie Mainoo is anywhere near the level of problem that Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, all of these types of players. I just don't think he's anywhere near it. I'm not concerned for Kobbie's attitude at all. I've made my points around Kobbie Mainoo and the situation with him, with Ruben Amorim, with Bruno Fernandes. We've had that whole debate. That's not even in question anymore with this right now. I think he's willing, and his attitude is exemplary compared to the others. The problem I've got is it's like the social media side again, and that post that Kobbie Mainoo has posted. So he's done a screenshot of the film Whiplash, and yeah, the film itself, and when you look at it, you would just say he's looking at that there as a frustrated character. That's what comes across from me. Kobbie Mainoo putting that out there. It's a young, talented drummer that can never impress, or feels like he can never impress his mentor or his coach. No matter what he does, no matter how hard he works, that's how it's being portrayed. And that's how the media are picking up on it. It's not so much him posting that. That is just what he can do. Look, social media is social media. Look, you just have to accept it. It's part of modern life. I'm not bothered about Kobbie Mainoo posting that, because before that, he's posting pictures of him training, videos of him training, working hard, extra training, while other players are having breaks. He's got the right mentality, I think, Kobbie Mainoo, but he feels frustrated now. And I think there is a tiny little jab at everybody who's questioning him, not just Ruben, I don't think. But obviously Ruben's going to see this. Ruben's going to have reporters or people at Manchester United reporting to him, saying this is what Kobbie's doing. They have to know at the club what every single player is doing. So there'll be people monitoring all of their social lives and things like this at the club, and then reporting back to Ruben, because he wants to know everything. Remember, right at the start of Ruben's time at Manchester United, that press conference where he was talking in rhyme, once the way you move, the way you eat, the way you talk, the way you dress, all of this. We knew straight away when Ruben walked through the door that he was onto absolutely everything. And then 1, 2, 3 players got isolated and taken away from Manchester United's first team squad. That was Tyrell Malacia, Alejandro Garnacho, and Marcus Rashford. Well documented. Funnily enough, we're coming around to the anniversary of that in November, when that all broke down and happened. And you know that he knows what Kobbie's doing, and Kobbie will know he knows what he's doing, and that's what the media will look at. And Nate Salt brought up that from the Daily Mail. Now, Nate Salt's a journalist that follows Manchester United home, away, abroad. He covers the youth team and academy intensely as well, and he knows everything about Manchester United. Good little journalist is Nate Salt, and he goes into a lot of detail. And then for him to pick up on that is, again, I don't like it's the way that it then gets portrayed rather than what Kobbie's actually saying. Kobbie, you could be saying is, I'll show you exactly what I'm all about. And that's the right mentality, you could say. But then the media pick up on it, and they make that stance like I have just picked up on there, like I've read from it. I'm not bothered what Kobbie's doing. I think that could be him saying, I'm going to show everybody what I am and what I'm all about. I'll prove to everybody that I'm this world-class player. Great. Well, then the media grab it, and they make it look like there is the young apprentice there, or the young student who could never impress no matter what he does. And that's how they've portrayed it already. And then it starts to become a problem. So social media is part of the world, but social media in football is a problem. I've heard lots of people talking about this on radio stations, journalists speaking about it. Players, using social media to get moves in the transfer window, using their power. Agents and clubs asking players to actually go out on social media with their audience and their fan base and put pressure on football clubs to start making certain decisions, because these players are more popular than the actual football clubs. On social media, in their world, they are massive. They are superstars. And this, obviously, is part of life now. And this is what these players think. So while they've got their fans, they've got backing. Beforehand, it was the club against the player, and nobody knew what was going on. And the player would always fall in line. The clubs loved that, because obviously no one would know what's going on. Now everybody knows what's going on behind the scenes because of social media. And you'll get agents using it, players coming out using it, and they'll all use it just to have their say. How many times have we heard them Instagram stories from certain players this transfer window coming out and saying, I've stayed quiet up until now, but I think it's time I said something. Oh my God. It's like in every single saga, you're going to get that from a player. I can remember Victor Gyökeres's scenario, Johan Wissa, you've got Alexander Isak. Obviously, I think Manchester United, I think with the Garnacho one in particular, that was our bad one. It was all about really his agent using it, it's his brother, and talking about things that he didn't like and how his player was and his client was treated at Manchester United. Yeah, Jadon Sancho posting a picture of the bomb squad inside the brand new facility at Manchester United that they shouldn't even be part of. That's what social media does. And then it's how you take it. And it's how you look at it. Because we've all got our opinions. And like I've said before, I'm really not bothered about what the players do or what they post on social media, as long as they're not obviously embarrassing the football club or making themselves look like absolute idiots. But I think with Kobbie Mainoo's one, I think because of the situation that's developed at United, I think everybody wants to run it their own way, and it's caused a problem on its own because of that. That's what I think anyway. That's the way I look at it. Well, I don't think Kobbie's done anything wrong. I don't. Work hard, train hard, keep going. That's what that message could have been. I'll show you. If you haven't seen the film Whiplash, you'll know exactly what Kobbie's doing here. Before, Andy's posted pictures of him training, doing extra sessions, and this kid in this film absolutely goes through hell to try and get to the top. And that's what I think the message is here from Kobbie Mainoo. But the media, I've grabbed it. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I work, I can never impress the manager. I can never impress the coach, the mentor, whoever it may be. And that's the problem. That's the problem, really. And I think because it's Man United, it gets highlighted even more. And, well, that's what we just got to live with as Manchester United, aren't we? We're just in the public eye constantly, all of the time. And that goes back to the Marcus Rashford thing as well. Because Marcus Rashford, obviously being told, like all the rest of the Barcelona players, and I made that point there in talking about it, it's because he's the Man United player that we're talking about it right now. So all the players under scrutiny at Barcelona still means Marcus Rashford is under scrutiny. The stories coming out separately from this are because Marcus Rashford isn't a permanent fixture there at that club. He's on loan and can still be a problem for Manchester United later down the line in the future. And that's why we need to worry and talk about it, because we don't want him back. We want Kobbie in the side. We don't want Marcus Rashford dropping in. Because you imagine, Kobbie Mainoo's doing all of this work, and then Ruben Amorim leaves. And all of a sudden, then you've got Kobbie Mainoo fighting for certain positions in this side. He's then fighting against Marcus Rashford. I know that seems like a far-fetched sort of look on things, but Marcus Rashford comes back into the side. Then that's another player that he's fighting with. And it all looks like it was completely worthless. So, yeah, that's the side of social media and that post from Kobbie that people will grab and try and use in a different way. And that's what I'm trying to highlight in this show here, because you could look at it whichever way you want, but it still doesn't stop the media from driving their narrative and the bigger story, which is always going to grab more headlines and is always going to get more clicks, is that Kobbie is still a problem at Manchester United. That's what they want to report. I'm not saying Nate Salt in particular, because he does a lot of work for Man United's academy and a lot of good journalism in the positive side of things and the realism side of things for this football club. But just him picking up on that there and saying that's interesting, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm going to get back into the comments section as well now, so get your comments in, please, everybody. Give me your views on everything going down and everything what's happening right now as well with Rashford, with Kobbie Mainoo. Your thoughts on this? Actually, on this, Fabrizio Romano has actually just been speaking as well. Like, funnily enough, I've not even seen Romano talk about this, but Rashford is alone at Barcelona with a €30 million non-mandatory buy option. Barca cover part of his salary plus bonuses. They'll decide in the summer whether to buy Manchester United's Marcus Rashford. That there, I think, is the truth in it. And the worrying sign is, look, for Marcus Rashford, look, I don't think he's going to be coming back to Manchester United. Not in January anyway. I think Hansi Flick will probably get more out of him eventually. But I want him to be smashing it right now. I want it to be impossible for Barcelona to say no to Marcus Rashford. That's what we're looking at right now, I think. But them worrying signs already I'm just thinking far ahead. I'm thinking of the plans for next summer's transfer window. I'm thinking how much money Man United will have. If you've got Marcus Rashford being bought by Barcelona, Rasmus Højlund being bought by Napoli next summer, you're already up there over £60 million from player sales before the summer's even started. And there's Carlos Baleba. We need him to do well. We need him to actually smash it at Barcelona. That's the problem we've got. I don't think he is. And it's the worry because I just know since his time there already, he's just been, with the interviews and things like that, he just thinks he's made it. I cannot change my mind about him. Everything I see and what he does, how he acts, how he plays, the entitlement factor with that man is never going to change my mind. I won't ever have confidence in him changing at all as a man. What you don't say is as important as what you do. Talk with your feet, I think, Ant, is the best way to do it. Knuckle down, train hard, and get on with it. I think that's the best way to look at it. Corinthians says, what you just said makes no sense. Rashford and Kobe don't even play in the same position. Well, Rashford plays in a 10 if he was going to play for Ruben Amorim, and so does Kobe Mainoo as well, in the same. So it does make sense, mate. And it's another player that's in the way. It is. Unless another manager comes in, then, yeah. Then you can start talking about it. But you just don't know. It adds to the insecurity and not helping Kobe Mainoo. If he feels like he's not getting enough game time this season and he sees players coming back at the end of this season, then he's going to be looking at that and thinking it's going to be even harder for me to get back into this Man United side. Look, we want Rashford out and we want Kobe in this team. This is what we're talking about. But while Rashford's there, he's still a problem for Manchester United. And it is going to affect every other player in this side. There's no other way you can look at it, really. Rashford won't ever play here again as long as Amorim is here anyway. And you know what, Daz, on that, I don't think he's going to play here ever again. It's the problem of Rashford and dealing with him in the transfer window I'm worried about. I even think if Ruben leaves, Rashford will still be turfed out of Manchester United. I think he will. I don't think Ineos are going to stand there and say, well, now Ruben's gone, maybe we get a different Rashford. Never in a million years will that happen. They're not that stupid, surely. Let's see. Rashford never starts a season well, even when he bagged 30 goals. He doesn't kick in until after the first internationals. He will start for Tuchel today and kick on. Barca will end up buying. I'll nuke. I'm going with that. I'll have that, mate, all day long, pal. You keep bringing them comments in, buddy. I love that one. I love that thinking. Try and convince me, mates, please. I hope you're right, buddy. I really do. I hope you are right, because that's exactly what we all want to happen right now. Nobody wants Rashford to do bad, by the way, do we? Look, we don't like him, but we don't want him to do bad. We want him to absolutely destroy it over in Barcelona. We want him to absolutely smash it and make it impossible for him to say no to him. So, yeah, today, if he scores for England, I'll be a very, very happy man. I will, because it all makes Rashford look good. And it keeps Hansi Flick thinking, maybe I can make something of this lad. Maybe he is worth keeping for 26 million. God, it's not much, is it? Please, please, Marcus. Marcus is never going to smash it at any club because he's rubbish. Marcus, Garnacho, Højlund, these are Sunday League players masquerading as professional footballers. I've gone from Nuke to McForty there, and I've gone completely from there to there instantly. I love the comment section. Keep it coming, everybody. So many different angles and viewpoints on this. Adam, has Ineos missed a trick by not forcing a permanent move for Rashford this summer, using the World Cup as his need to play time as leverage? Next season, he could refuse a move and be content on the bench. Look, I don't think Manchester United had much choice, to be honest. I don't think they had much choice. I think they had to deal with what they've got. The cards were on the table, and Marcus Rashford, I think, I think he wanted to move to Barcelona. The wages were covered. I think Manchester United have then another year of his contract gone. Like, so Marcus Rashford is not costing us anything. So I think United just dealt with the situation as they could. They had a lot of other issues to deal with this summer, which are now done. Rashford's gone for a year. One more year left. One more year gone on his contract. Maybe it's easier for Manchester United to negotiate a better deal next summer. I don't know, mate, is the honest answer to that. And I understand what you're saying. Will he really want to wait it out and sit there doing nothing? I don't even think Marcus Rashford could sit there earning money at United. He wants to play football. He desperately wants to play football. And I think he'll be doing everything he possibly can to get on that pitch. I do. International duties, Reds, and everything that's happened over last night. Just to go over everything and completely update you on the situation and where we're actually at with the internationals. It wasn't a bad night, actually, for Manchester United. Obviously, we got an assist from Benjamin Sesko. A lot of people who were watching that game would say the same thing. Again, started the service, but played his part. 90 minutes in, 1 assist for Benjamin Sesko. 2-2 draw with Sweden last night. He outperformed Gyökeres in a lot of people's minds as well in that game. Denmark drew 0-0 with Scotland, but Patrick Dorgu was an unused substitute. Again, another Manchester United player not getting game time on internationals. At least we're going to be fresh when we come back to play Manchester City. So Patrick Dorgu has now not played for 2 weeks. And that's going to be 3 weeks if he doesn't play again in the next game for Denmark. He may do, but yes. Ivory Coast won their game 1-0. Amad Diallo played 67 minutes, so minutes in the bag for him. Obviously, yesterday we had the likes of Altay Bayındır, unused substitutes, Brian Mbeumo and Andre Onana. They played their games. So far, so good, Reds. Touch wood. Everybody's happy because Manchester United have got no extra injuries at the moment. So well done to the international Reds. Quite positive results for everybody as well. No one has been beaten yet, which is good. So positive vibe coming back. That's big. That's important. I did mention at the top of the show that Manchester United, behind closed doors, are organising a friendly against Aston Villa to give Senna Lamens game time and test him out, which would be good. Senna Lamens actually getting a game before the Manchester derby. That's interesting. Are they going to just see where he is, where his fitness is at, and maybe put him in? The word for Manchester United at the moment is, we spoke about Andre Onana's situation last night. The word from United at the moment is that Altay Bayındır is now favourite, or looks favourite, to be in goal against Manchester City on a week tomorrow, in fact, in the Manchester derby. So that's where we're at the moment. Still no one really shouting out or anything being leaked out regarding the chance of Senna Lamens going in goal for Manchester United in that game. I don't think that's on the cards at the moment. I want it to be. I want him to be in goal. I would, and I've said it before, I would throw him straight in there. I think he'll learn a lot in that game. He would. City's injury list. I mean, I looked at it before. I'm not going to say anything just yet about City's injury list right now and the concerns that they've got. We'll get closer to the time and go through that, but not looking ideal for them at the moment. Trying to build this positive, confident vibe heading into the Manchester derby, because if we win that and we get two wins in a row for the first time since Ruben's been here, it goes a massively long way. It goes an awful long way for Manchester United if we can beat Manchester City a week tomorrow. That would be absolutely huge for Ruben and us. That puts us right up there in the reckoning. If we can get through, like we've said before, this next group of games and still be up there in around top 8-ish and not too far away, then we're into October. And it's what people say. Look at the table when October comes around and you'll know who's in the offing for what. Just be there. The start of the season is all important about just being in there, in the mix. You're finding your feet. Certain performances are better than others. It's never 100% certain, but it just gives you that little bit of a boost going into the rest of the season, I think, is that's what we're saying. Let's get a few more comments in on the Silverbacks in. Sesko lower, defo need to see him start. Oh, he's talking to someone. Definitely need to see Sesko start this, and we need Adam a cheeky game. Keep things fresh, and let's see this Lamens in action. Yeah, I would love to see Sesko start against Manchester City. I think he would cause problems. I'm not keen on City's defence. I'm really not. I don't rate them at all. They're a mess at the moment. Like, John Stones just been pulled out of the of the England setup. He's not fit. He's been playing this season. Obviously, they just got rid of Akanji. Don't know where Ake is and what's happening with him. Guardiola's injured as well. Like, Diaz is a stay there, obviously. But the City's defence is all over the place at the moment. So I'm playing Benjamin Sesko. I think he could cause problems. And I would say they've got to make the decision on whether to play Donnarumma in goal. Like, throwing him right into a Manchester derby. I understand he's a great goalkeeper, but can Pep afford to play somebody who's not good with his feet, who doesn't come well for crosses? Yes, he is one of the best shot stoppers out there, and I mean one of the best. He's brilliant. But it's a big decision to make for Manchester City. So Manchester United and Man City, preparation this week, looking at internationals and giving a real assessment to whether to go with brand new goalkeepers in the derby. Look, you would say that Donnarumma has got the experience and can handle the occasion. Yes, he can, but how much training time has this man had under Pep Guardiola? And James Trafford isn't pulling up trees at the moment. He looks nervous. I'm putting the big man up. I'm putting Benjamin Sesko right up there. Let's ruffle a few feathers. Let's get some crosses in that box. I'm telling you something, I fancy his chances against City. So Sesko getting 90 minutes is big in international week for me, because that just gives him more minutes in the legs. It makes him fresher, it makes him fitter, and convinces Ruben Amorim that he is ready to go. He's match ready right now. His fitness is there. And so it's just a case of working him into the system and what you want to do with the formation, probably. But how interesting is that? Like, when the more you think about it, Manchester City and Man United are going into the derby and deciding whether or not to actually play brand new goalkeepers in this game. It's going to be an interesting one anyway. And do you know what? I don't think anybody will be able to pick. I bet the odds are short as hell. No one will be able to pick who's going to win that game. That is one of the hardest calls this weekend in the fixtures. Who wins, Man United or Man City? Football is changing again. Pep's systematic approach is going. He can't beat teams at his own game anymore, and he's lost because of it. I think he lost the plot, to be honest. He looks drained at the moment, Pep Guardiola. I think it's a good time to play City. I hope we take advantage of it. If we are going to throw lemons in, surely they can throw Donna in. Yeah, I think throw both in, make a deal with City. Let's just make this even and put new goalkeepers on each end. I think they will. I think they'll play him. I think that's what... Although I don't know with Pep, he's a weird one, isn't he? He is. I would play Senna Lamens. Put him in. Honestly, that will boost the defence straight away, I think, knowing that they've got someone new behind them who is big, commanding, very loud. I would do it. I think it would actually give Man United's defence a bit of a boost as well and give the team a little bit more confidence, because they know that with Bainday and Onana behind them that they're never going to be safe. Yet we've got this new kid in who Man United have been scouting for a while, who is ready to go right now, who is completely different to the two keepers we've got. All of a sudden, and in your head, you're thinking, I've actually got a decent keeper behind me now, and this is all going to change. And I would do it. I would play Senna Lamens, 100%, put him in there. Look, at the end of the day, as long as I don't see Andre Onana in a Man United shirt again, I think I can just about stomach it. But Senna Lamens needs to be phased in as quickly as possible and let him grow with this team, because there isn't enough games to be chopping and changing. You ain't got your easy Carabao Cup games to bring players in for now. Andre Onana's seen to that. We've got no European football to give these players a chance either. Senna Lamens has to be phased in as quickly as possible for me. Man United careers, the Man United careers of either Andre Onana or Altay Bainday could be over this month, with club open to transfer offers from Saudi Arabia and Turkey. That's some of the tabloid stories going around this morning as well. So doubling down on the Onana or Bainday leaving is what we're getting this morning from the morning papers anyway. By the way, everybody, please give the video a like. Let's see if we can get up as close to 500. We're just about to finish up in a moment. A couple more comments coming in. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Less than 400 to go. It's getting mad, everybody. It's getting so close. I'm hoping by the derby we are there. We might get there before it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything anymore. Let's see. What else we got here? ATKO. Sesko needs to start scoring regularly. We need confidence and consistency up front. Cunha back in scoring 2, plus Senna settled in. Finally, Kobe able to play full games, high tempo and recovery runs. ATKO, I'm liking your vibe there, mate. I must say, I am liking your vibe, my friend. Keep it coming. Daniel says, Sesko should start, but we'll have to see if he plays the second game for Slovenia. These international games can be a problem for many players. I think if he plays and maybe gets like an hour, 70 minutes, Daniel, because I think they're going to be playing on Monday. Monday or Tuesday. It might be Tuesday. No, it's going to be Monday, isn't it, for Slovenia next? So then he's got 6 days to recover. Even if he plays another 90 minutes, I think, Daniel, I think he should be okay. So, yeah, I think that's how we would look at it. But 2 90 minutes, 2 full games for Benjamin Sesko, that's good. Fitness-wise, for us, that's what we need to be seeing, these players that haven't played much and them getting game time. I think that's important for United going in. But, hey, look, let's see what... Robert says, United players have this squad pride in them and refuse to listen to Cristiano Ronaldo regarding training regime to build themselves up. But they weren't listening. Too busy being divas. Yes. You don't legs in midfield if our centre halves are confident stepping into midfield on turnovers. A dodgy keeper was stopping this out of fear. Now we have a keeper. They should be more confident at it. As I think there's a few typos in there, Nuke, but I think what you're saying there is like the system should work anyway with this midfield in place, because the centre back has to step forward and cover the space of the 8 that's gone marauding forward, and then be the one that recovers. Your wing-backs will then obviously be on high alerts, heads on a swivel, looking back and doing that extra covering back, at least from one side. But with a confident goalkeeper behind you, I get what you're saying, mate. You are more confident to play the system. Every single player in every single position for Ruben Amorim is key. The wing-backs have to be on it. The midfielder has to be high energy and put in serious amounts of work. The 10s have to be the creative and the overload up front. The striker has to score goals, and it sounds stupid, but he does. That's how Gyökeres was for Sporting, how it works so well. They have to take chances when they come, and that centre-back, whichever one it is that steps forward, has to be comfortable on the ball. I think Lenny Yoro is that player for Man United. And then with a goalkeeper behind him, that gives everyone the confidence to do exactly that. Because you're not worried about mistakes that you make being completely punished every time someone has had a simple shot on goal. And that is our show this morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Good to talk football, actually. So give me a comment saying on the Marcus Rashford situation, does it worry you that he isn't doing well? Do you think he will? Do you think he'll turn it around? A few people in the chat today have thought, you know what? It's now after international break. Rashford will play for England. Hopefully he does well today. We'll be there live later on, everybody, for Football Talk. So tune into that. And we are doing the shirt giveaway also in that watch-along. More information on that in the afternoon show on FUTV, everybody. So be there later on. In fact, let me just double-check the time that we're going to be live. I've got it all written down here, actually. So, right, we're going to be going live around about 4 o'clock on FUTV today. Slightly earlier show because we're going to lead into the watch-along for Football Talks for the England game. So we're going to be live around about 4 o'clock today, everybody. Nothing in between today in terms of content-wise unless anything breaks. So I'll see you next here on FUTV at 4 o'clock. That's when I'll give you the information on the giveaway and everything that's happening this evening as well, everyone. But until then, cheers, everybody. Thank you so much. Fantastic show. Please give the video a like. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Super Chats, and new members in here. Gifted memberships. I'll see you all later on this afternoon, everybody, for the live show and watch along and giveaway. Be there to be in.